Wiki Wednesday Whispers. This is going to be the 5th Wiki Wednesday Whispers. So we've been doing this for over a month now, so that's pretty exciting, I think. And I thought I'd give you a few quick updates on some stuff happening with the channels and videos before we get started. Real quick, the channel is up to 60 subscribers. That's 60 as of making this video. So that's I don't know. I think that's pretty exciting. It tells me that you guys are enjoying some of these videos, and so I will keep making them. Next up is I actually made a list this time. Also, just so you guys know, if I'm looking down, because I tend to forget what I want to update you guys about when I go and start talking to the camera. So, next up is the Twitter and Instagram. I look forward to being able to use that as a way to communicate with you guys, keep you updated about future videos, get ideas from you guys. And then the Instagram, I have been making the 10-second tinkle videos. I'm going to start using those for some more kind of exploring triggers and stuff like that, to see what people like before making longer videos, I think. So I made a tapping and scratching 10-second tingles just a little bit ago before recording this. So be sure to check that out. And so this is actually my second try recording this. And part of what happened with that is, so my videos have all been uploading, and I think 480p is their maximum. And I went to check, because I know my camera can record in 1080. So I went to check why I wasn't, and it turns out I have been recording in 1080, but they weren't uploading that way, and I was confused why, but I figured it out. There's a setting on my computer that was auto set to a max upload at 480, and I've changed it, so now it'll take the full 1080 video. So you should be seeing, well, you should be able to see this video in 1080p if you like. Personally, I don't like to watch a lot of whisper videos, ASMR, in 1080p, just because I don't actually watch, I just listen, and I'll have, I'll be working another tab, so there's no reason to have the higher video quality. It sounds the same, at least as far as I can hear, but it's nice to have the option in case you do want to watch. And but if I'm not watching, I'll tend to set it to a lower quality, because then it doesn't have to buffer as much, plus you actually save some energy, help the environment. But so yeah, it's nice to have the option. So now that I figured that out, I'll be posting videos in 1080p. So I'm pretty excited about that. But that said, those files are pretty big, and so when I had been recording them all in 1080, I hadn't deleted some of them off of my memory card. I have a 16 gigabyte memory card right now, and it was full, and so I started to record this video, got about 10 minutes into it, and had to start over because the memory stopped recording. But since I'm looking at my computer behind you guys, I couldn't tell when it had stopped recording, and so I just deleted the whole thing and just start over. So, but I think without further ado, let's get into this week's video. So this week, in case you haven't figured out yet, we are talking about blue whales. listed. Quick side note, a ton, written Tonnes, is 1,000 kilograms or a metric ton. A short ton is 2,000 pounds. Long and slender, the blue whale's body can be various shades of bluish-gray dorsally and somewhat lighter underneath. There are at least 3 distinct subspecies. I'm not going to read them because I don't have any idea how to pronounce them. One of them is in the North Atlantic and North Pacific. The next one is in the Southern Ocean. And the last one, also known as the pygmy blue whale, is found in the Indian Ocean and South Pacific Ocean. There's another subspecies found in the Indian Ocean, which may be another subspecies. As with other baleen whales, its diet consists almost exclusively of small crustaceans known as krill. Blue whales were abundant in nearly all the oceans on Earth until the beginning of the 20th century. For over a century, they were hunted almost to extinction by whalers until protected by the international community in 1966. In 2002, a report estimated that there were 5,000 to 12,000 blue whales worldwide, located in at least 5 groups. More recent research into the pygmy subspecies suggests this may be an underestimate. Before whaling, the largest population was in the Antarctic, numbering approximately 239,000. There remain only much smaller concentrations in each of the eastern, North Pacific, Antarctic, and Indian Ocean groups. There are 2 more groups in the North Atlantic, and at least 2 in the Southern Hemisphere. That's the end of the introduction section. Subsection 1, Taxonomy. Blue whales are rorquals, a family that includes the humpback whale, the fin whale, Bryde's whale, the sei whale, and the mink whale. The family Balanopetridae is believed to have diverged from other families of the suborder Myceticidae as long ago as the middle of the Oligocene. It is not known when the members of those families diverged from each other. The blue whale is usually classified as one of 8 species in the genus Balanopetria. One authority places it in a separate monotypic genus Cypballadus, but this is not accepted elsewhere. DNA sequencing analysis indicates that the blue whale is phylogenetically closer to the sei whale and Bryde's whale than to other Balanopetria species, and closer to the humpback whale and the gray whale than to the mink whales. If further research confirms these relationships, it will be necessary to reclassify the rorquals. There have been at least 11 documented cases of blue/fin hybrid adults in the wild. Arneson and Goldberg described the genetic distance between a blue and a fin as about the same as between a human and gorilla. Researchers working on Fiji believed they photographed a hybrid humpback blue whale. The first published description of the blue whale comes from Robert Sibbald's Phenology Nova in 1694. In September 1692, Sibbald found a blue whale that had stranded in the Firth of Forth, a male 78 feet long, which had black horny plates and 2 large apertures approaching a pyramid in shape. The specific name, musculus, is Latin and could mean muscle, but it could also be interpreted as little mouse. Carl Linnaeus, who named the species in his seminal Systema Naturae of 1758, would have known this and may have the skin. Other common names for the blue whale have included Sebald rorqual, after Sebald, who first described the species, the great blue whale, and the great northern rorqual. These names have now fallen into disuse. The first known usage of the term blue whale was in Melville's Moby Dick, which only mentions it in passing and does not specifically attribute it to the species in question. The name was really derived from the Norwegian Bafal Goinebais Van Fjoren, shortly after he had perfected the harpoon gun. The Norwegian scientist Geo Sars adopted it as the Norwegian common name in 1874. Authorities classify the species into 3 or 4 subspecies. The northern blue whale, consisting of the North Atlantic populations, that's B.M. musculus, B.M. intermedia, the southern blue whale of the Southern Ocean, B.M. briephagudua, the pygmy blue whale found in the Indian Ocean and South Pacific, and the more problematic B.M. indica, the great Indian rorqual, which is also found in the Indian Ocean, and that, although described earlier, may be the same subspecies as B.M. brivicata. That's the end of subsection 1 on taxonomy. Just taking a look at how long the article is. So, let me take a drink real quick. Subsection 2, description and behavior. The blue whale has a long tapering body that appears stretched in comparison with the stockier build of other whales. That is flat, U-shaped, and has a prominent ridge running from the blowhole to the top of the upper lip. The front part of the mouth is thick, with baleen plates, around 300 plates, each around 1 meter long, hang from the upper jaw, running 0.5 meters back into the mouth. Between 70 and 118 grooves, called ventral pleats, run along the throat parallel to the body length. These pleats assist with evacuating water from the mouth after lung feeding. The dorsal fin is small, ranging in height from 8 to 70 centimeters, and averaging about 28 centimeters. It is visible only briefly during the dive sequence, located around 3/4 of the way along the length of the body. It varies in shape from one individual to another. Some only have a barely perceptible lump, but others may have prominent or falcate, that's sickle-shaped, dorsals. When surfacing to breathe, the blue whale rises its shoulder and blowhole out of the water to a greater extent than other large whales, such as the fin or sea whales. Observers can use this trait to differentiate between species at sea. Some blue whales in the North Atlantic and North Pacific raise their tail like tail fluke when diving. When breathing, the whale emits a spectacular vertical single-column spout up to 12 meters, typically 9 meters. Its lung capacity is 5,000 liters. Blue whales have twin blowholes shielded by a large splash guard. The flippers are 3 to 4 meters long. The upper sides are gray with a thin white border. The lower sides are white. The head and tail fluke are generally uniformly gray. The whale's upper parts, and sometimes the flipper, are usually molded. The degree of molding varies substantially from individual to individual. Some may have a uniform slate gray color, but others demonstrate a considerable variation of dark blues, grays, blacks, all tightly molded as 50 blue whales have been seen scattered over a small area. They do not form large, close-knit groups seen in other baleen species. That's the end of subsection 2. Subsection 3. Size. The blue whale is the largest animal ever known to have lived. The largest dinosaur of the Mesozoic era was Argentinosaurus, which is estimated to have weighed 90 metric tons or 99 short tons. Blue whales are difficult to weigh because of their size. As is the case with most large whales targeted by whalers, adult blue whales have never been weighed whole, but cut up into manageable pieces first. This caused an underestimate of the total weight of the whale due to the loss of blood and other fluids. As a whole, blue whales from the North Atlantic and Pacific appear to be smaller on average than those from sub-Antarctic waters. Nevertheless, measurements between 150 and 170 metric tons were recorded of animals up to 27 meters in length. The weight of an individual 30 meters long is believed by the American National Marine Mammal Laboratory to be in excess of 180 metric tons. The largest blue whale accurately weighed by NMML scientists to date was a female that weighed 177 metric tons. There is some uncertainty about the biggest blue whale ever found, as most data came from blue whales killed in Antarctic waters during the first half of the 20th century, which were collected by whalers not well versed in standardized zoological measurement techniques. The heaviest whale ever recorded weighed in at approximately 190 metric tons. The longest whales ever recorded were two females measuring 33.6 and 33.3 meters, although in neither of these cases was the piecemeal weight gathered. The longest whale measured by scientists at the NMML was 29.9 meters. Female caught in the Antarctic by Japanese whalers in 1946 and 1947. Lieutenant Q.T.R. Walsh, USCG, while acting as the whaling inspector of the factory ship Ulysses, verified the measurement of a 30-meter pregnant blue whale caught in the Antarctic in the 1937-1938 season. The longest reported in the North Pacific was 27.1 meters. Female taken by Japanese whalers in 1959, and the longest reported in the North Atlantic was 28.1 meters. Female caught in the Davis Strait. Due to its large size, several organs of the blue whale are the largest in the animal kingdom. A blue whale's tongue weighs around 2.7 metric tons, and when fully expanded, its mouth is large enough to hold up to 90 metric tons of food and water. Despite the size of its mouth, the dimensions of its throat are such that a blue whale cannot swallow an object wider than a beach ball. Its heart weighs 600 kilograms and is the largest known in any animal. A blue whale's thoracic aorta is estimated to be 23 meters in diameter. During the first 7 months of its life, a blue whale calf drinks approximately 400 liters of milk every day. Blue whale calves gain weight quickly, as much as 90 kilograms every 24 hours. Even at birth, they weigh up to 2,700 kilograms, the same as a fully grown hippopotamus. Blue whales have relatively small brains, only about 6.92 kilograms, about 0.007% of its body weight. The blue whale penis is the largest penis of any living organism. The reported average length varies, but is usually mentioned to have an average penis length of 8 feet to 10 feet. That is end of subsection 3. 3, yes. Yeah, 3. I do apologize if you heard that buzzing. That was my phone. Thought I had it on mute. Subsection 4, feeding. Blue whales feed almost exclusively on krill, though they also take small numbers of copiopods. The species of this zooplankton eaten by blue whales varies from ocean to ocean. An adult blue whale can eat up to 40 million krill in a day. The whales always feed in the areas with the highest concentration of krill, sometimes eating up to 3,600 kilograms of krill in a single day. The daily energy requirement of an adult blue whale is in the region of 1.5 million kilocalories. Their feeding habits are seasonal. Blue whales gorge on krill in the rich waters of the Antarctic before migrating to their breeding grounds in the warmer, less rich waters near the equator. The blue whale can take in up to 90 times as much energy as it expends, allowing it to build up considerable energy reserves. Because krill move, blue whales typically feed at depths of more than 100 meters during the day and only surface feed at night. Dive times are typically 10 minutes when feeding, though dives of up to 20 minutes are common. The longest recorded dive is 36 minutes. The whale feeds by lunging forward at groups of krill, taking the animals and a large quantity of water into its mouth. The water is then squeezed out through the baleen plates by pressure from the ventral pouch and tongue. Once the mouth is clear of water, the remaining krill, unable to pass through the plates, are swallowed. The blue whale also incidentally consumes small fish, crustaceans, and squid caught up with the krill. That's the end of subsection 4. Sorry. See what the next subsection is coming up were. Subsection 5, life history. Mating starts in late autumn and continues to the end of winter. Little is known about mating behavior or breeding grounds. Females typically give birth once every 2 to 3 years at the start of the winter after a gestation period of 10 to 12 months. The calf weighs about 2.5 metric tons and is around 7 meters in length. Blue whale calves drink 380 to 570 liters of milk every day. Blue whale milk has an energy content of approximately 18,300 kilojoules per kilogram. The calf is weaned after 6 months, by which time it has doubled in length. Sexual maturity is typically reached at 5 to 10 years of age. In the northern hemisphere, whaling records show that the males average 20 to 21 meters and females 21 to 23 meters at sexual maturity, while in the southern hemisphere it was 22.6 meters and 24 meters respectively. In the northern hemisphere, as adults male average 24 meters and females 25 meters, while in the southern hemisphere males average 25 meters and females 26.5 meters. In the northern Pacific, photogrammetric studies have shown blue whale adults today average 21.6 meters, with a maximum of over 24.4 meters, although a 26.5 meter female stranded near Piscataway, California in 1979. Scientists estimate that blue whales can live for at least 80 years, but since individual records do not date back into the whaling era, this may not be known with certainty for many years. The longest recorded study of a single individual is 34 years in the eastern North Pacific. The whale's only natural predator is the orca. Studies report that as many as 25% of mature blue whales have scars resulting from orca attacks. The mortality rate of such attacks to explode. As with other mammals, the fundamental instinct of the whale was to try to carry on breathing at all costs, even though this meant beaching to prevent itself from drowning. Two of the whale's bones were erected just off the main road of Lewis and remain a tourist attraction. The end of subsection 5. Subsection 6, Vocalizations. Estimates made by Cummings and Thompson suggest the source level of sounds made by blue whales are between 155 and 188 decibels when measured relative to a reference pressure of 1 micropascal at 1 meter. All blue whale groups make calls at a fundamental frequency between 10 and 40 hertz. The lowest frequency sound a human can typically perceive is 20 hertz. Blue whale calls last between 10 and 30 seconds. Blue whales off the coast of Sri Lanka have been repeatedly recorded making songs of 4 notes lasting about 2 minutes each, reminiscent of the well-known humpback whale songs. As this phenomenon has not been seen in any other populations, researchers believe it may be unique to the B.M. provocata subspecies. It's the pygmy subspecies. The reason for vocalization is unknown. It's the end of subsection 6. Subsection 7. This is all about population and whaling now. Hunting era. Blue whales are not easy to catch or kill. Their speed and power meant that they were rarely pursued by early whalers, who instead targeted sperm and right whales. In 1864, the Norwegian Sven Fjorden equipped a steamboat with harpoons specifically designed for catching large whales. Although it was initially cumbersome and had a low success rate, Fjorden perfected the harpoon gun, and soon several whaling stations were established on the coast of Finnmark in northern Norway. Because of disputes with local fishermen, the last whaling station in Finnmark was closed down in 1904. Soon blue whales were being hunted off Iceland in 1883, the Faroe Islands in 1894, Newfoundland 1898, and Spitsbergen in 1903. In 1904 and 1905, the first blue whales were taken off South Georgia. By 1925, with the advent of the stern slipway in factory ships and the use of steam-driven whale catchers, the catch of blue whales and baleen whales as a whole in the Antarctic and sub-Antarctic began to increase dramatically. In the 1930-31 season, these ships caught 29,400 blue whales in the Antarctic alone. By the end of World War II, populations had been significantly depleted, and in 1946, the first quotas restricting international trade in whales were introduced, but they were ineffective because of the lack of differentiation between species. Rare species could be hunted on equal footing with those found in relative abundance. Arthur C. Clarke, in his 1962 book, Profiles of the Future, was the first prominent intellectual to call attention to the plight of the blue whale. He mentioned its large brain and said, "We do not know the true nature of the entity we are destroying." Blue whale hunting was banned in 1966 by the International Whaling Commission, and illegal whaling by the Soviet Union finally halted in the 1970s, by which time 330,000 blue whales had been caught in the Antarctic, 33,000 in the rest of the southern hemisphere, 8,200 in the North Pacific, and 7,000 in the North Atlantic. The largest original population in the Antarctic had been reduced to 0.15% of their initial numbers. It's the end of subsection 7. I think 7. Subsection 8. Population and distribution today. Since the introduction of whaling ban, studies have failed to ascertain whether the conservation-reliant global blue numbers remain at under 1% of their original levels. It has also been suggested that Icelandic and Californian populations are increasing, but these increases are not statistically significant. The total world population was estimated to be between 5,000 and 12,000 in 2002, although there are high levels of uncertainty in available estimates for many areas. The IUCN Red List counts blue whale as endangered, as it has since the list's inception. In the United States, the National Marine Fisheries Services lists them as endangered under the Endangered Species Act. The largest known concentration, consisting of about 2,800 individuals, is in the Northeast Pacific population of the northern blue whale, subspecies that ranges from Alaska to Costa Rica, but is most commonly seen from California in summer. Infrequently, this population visits the Northwest Pacific between Kamchatka and the northern tip of Japan. In the North Atlantic, two stocks of B.M. musacus are recognized. The first is found off Greenland, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, and the Gulf of St. Lawrence. This group is estimated to total about 500. The second, more easterly group is spotted from the Azores in spring to Iceland in July and August. It is presumed the whales follow the mid-Atlantic ridge between the two volcanic islands. Beyond Iceland, the blue whales have been spotted as far north as Spitzenberg and Jan Mayen, though such sightings are rare. Scientists do not know where these whales spend their winters. The total North Atlantic population is estimated to be between 600 and 15,000. 15,000. In the southern hemisphere, there appear to be two distinct subspecies, B.M. intermedia, the Antarctic blue whale, and the little-studied pygmy blue whale, B.M. brivicata, found in the Indian Ocean waters. The most recent surveys, midpoint 1998, provide an estimate of 2,280 blue whales in the Antarctic, of which fewer than 1% are likely to be pygmy blue whales. Estimates from a 1996 survey show that 424 pygmy blue whales were in a small area south of Madagascar alone. Thus, it is likely that the numbers in the entire Indian Ocean are in the thousands. If this is true, the global numbers would be much higher than the estimates predict. A fourth subspecies, B.M. indica, was identified by Blythe in 1859 in the northern Indian Ocean, but difficulties in identifying distinguishing features for this subspecies led it to be used as a synonym for B.M. brivicata, the pygmy blue whale. Records for Soviet catches seem to indicate that the female adult size is closer to that of the pygmy blue whale B.M. musicus, although the populations of B.M. indica and B.M. brivicata appear to be discrete. The breeding seasons differ by almost 6 months. Migratory patterns of these subspecies are not well known. For example, pygmy blue whales have been recorded in the northern Indian Ocean, where they form a distinct resident population. In addition, the population of blue whales occurring off Chile and Peru may also be distinct in population. Some Antarctic blue whales approach the eastern South Atlantic coast in winter, and occasionally their vocalizations are heard off Peru, Western Australia, and in the northern Indian Ocean. In Chile, the Cestian Conservation Center, with support from the Chilean Navy, is undertaking extensive research and conservation work on a recently discovered feeding aggregation of this species off the coast of Chiloé Island in the Gulf of Corcovado, where 326 blue whales were spotted in 2007. Efforts to calculate the blue whale populations more accurately were supported by marine mammalogists at Duke University, who maintain the Ocean Biogeographic information system, spatial ecological analysis of megavertebrate populations, a coalition of marine mammal sighting data from around 130 sources. It's the end of subsection 8. And the subsection 9, threats other than hunting. Due to their enormous size and power, adult blue whales have virtually no predators. There's one documented case in a National Geographic magazine of a blue whale being attacked by orcas off the Baja California peninsula. Although the orcas were unable to kill the animal outright during their attack, the blue whale sustained serious wounds and probably died as a result of them shortly after the attack. Up to a quarter of the blue whales identified in Baja bear scars from orca attacks. Blue whales may be wounded, sometimes fatally, after colliding with ocean vessels, as well as becoming trapped or entangled in fishing gear. The ever-increasing amount of ocean noise, including sonar, drowns out the vocalizations produced by whales, which makes it harder for them to communicate. Blue whales stop producing foraging decalls once a mid-frequency sonar is activated. Even though the sonar frequency range 1 to 8 kHz far exceeds their sound production range of 25 to 100 Hz. Human threats to potential recovery of blue whale populations also include accumulation of polychlorinated biphenyl (PCB) chemicals within the whale's body, with global warming causing glaciers and permafrost to melt rapidly and allowing a large amount of fresh water to flow into the oceans. There are concerns that if the amount of fresh water in the oceans reaches a critical point, there will be a disruption to the thermohaline circulation. Considering the blue whale's migratory patterns are based on ocean temperature, a disruption in this circulation, which moves warm and cold water around the world, would be likely to have an effect on their migration. The whales summer in the cool, high latitudes where they feed in krill-abundant waters. They winter in warmer, low latitudes while they mate and give birth. The change in ocean temperatures would also affect the blue whale's food supply. The warming trend and decreased salinity levels would cause significant shift in krill location and abundance. It's the end of subsection 9. Subsection 10, Museums. The Natural History Museum in London contains a famous mounted skeleton and life-size model of a blue whale, which were both first of their kind in the world, but have since been replicated at the University of California, Santa Cruz. Similarly, the American Museum of Natural History in New York City has a full-size model in its Milstein Family Hall of Ocean Life. A juvenile blue whale skeleton is installed at the New Bedford Whaling Museum in New Bedford, Massachusetts. The Aquarium of the Pacific in Long Beach, California features a life-size model of a mother blue whale with her calves suspended from the ceiling of its main hall. The Betty Biodiversity Museum at the University of British Columbia, Canada, houses a display of blue whale skeleton. Skull is a cast replica directly on the main campus boulevard. A real skeleton of a blue whale at the Canadian Museum of Nature in Ottawa also was unveiled in May 2010. The Museum of Natural History in Gothenburg, Sweden, contains the only stuffed blue whale in the world. There one can also find the skeleton of the whale mounted beside the whale. The Melbourne Museum features a skeleton of the pygmy blue whale. The North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences in Raleigh, North Carolina, features a mounted skeleton of a blue whale, which visitors can view from both the first and second floors. It's the end of subsection 10. The final subsection 11, whale watching. Blue whales may be encountered, but rarely on whale watching cruises in the Gulf of Maine, and are the main attractions along the north shore of the Gulf of St. Lawrence in the St. Lawrence estuary. Blue whales can also be seen off off Southern California, starting as early as March and April, with a peak between July and September. In Chile, the Alcufa project combines conservation and measures the population of blue whales feeding off the Chile island with whale watching and other ecotourism activities that bring economic benefits to the local people. Whale watching of principally blue whales is also carried out south of Sri Lanka. That's the end of the article on blue whales. I do apologize for any background noises. Particularly right now I'm hearing a pretty loud pipe. So I do apologize for that. My building is just very busy and unfortunately there's not anything I can do about those noises. I hope you've enjoyed it. You've stuck with me this whole time. I will link in the description down below. I will link the article to the Wikipedia page if you'd like to check it out yourself. And as always, I greatly appreciate any suggestions for Wiki Wednesday Whispers videos, as well as for any other videos, any triggers you'd like to see. So please leave a comment if you have any ideas, and if you liked it, please hit the little thumbs up